Okay, this is a review of UFC 127. It was BJ Penn versus Fitch. First fight of the night, that was Kyle Noke versus Chris Camozzi. It was a big fight, wondering who would prevail, Kyle Noke's ground game or Chris Camozzi's brawling style. I thought Camozzi would have won it, but for the first minute or so, they weren't too gun shy. They were going at it. They were going after each other. They ended up tying up. Kyle Noke took him down, got the immediate mount. Eventually got the beautiful transition to his back, choked him out within, I think it was a minute, 30 seconds. Amazing technique. It was great. The second fight of the night was Chris Lytle versus Brian Ebersole. Everybody's expecting Chris Lytle to just tear this guy apart. No one's really heard of him that much. Brian Ebersole, haven't seen too much of him. I personally have not seen him fight before. And then last night, talk about the underdog really stepping up to the challenge. I mean, no one would have expected that. First round, it kind of went back and forth. Chris Lytle went for a couple guillotine attempts. He hit him with a couple big shots. Didn't really rock him. Didn't really get anything significant. Uh, but those guillotine attempts, Brian Ebersole treated him like a champ. He didn't weather under him. He didn't give up. He got right out and just kept going. You saw a lot of his weird stuff starting in the first round. He's a real goofy guy with the cartwheel kick and everything. Very strange. But then in the second round, he really rocked Lytle with the big knee. I thought that might have been the fight ender right there, but Chris Lytle, he's a game guy. He got right through it, kept fighting on, ended up losing a decision. That happens. He'll be back, but as of now, Brian Ebersole just jumped into the mix at 170. The third fight of the night, that was George Sotiropoulos versus Dennis Siver. I was way wrong on this prediction. I would not have guessed that Dennis Siver had brought his takedown defense up so much. I mean, George tried countless times and just could not get him to the mat at all. He would get a hold of the leg. Dennis would hit him with 2, 3 punches and push him off like it was nothing, just throwing him to the ground. He was just throwing him like a rag doll. It was ridiculous. And rocked him a good 3 times in the first round, knocked him down twice. He was really taking it to him. Sotiropoulos started to get his beat, started to get the flow of the stand-up toward the second and third, but the fact is that Siver had just landed more punches. He got more points. He won it by decision. I'll talk more about the lightweight division, my thoughts on that on another video, but then it comes to the co-main event of the whole event. Uh, Jorge Rivera and Michael Bisping. Obviously, these two have been talking shit like crazy about each other. Just going at it. They hate each other. There's no reason for it. They just couldn't fucking stand each other. That happens. Michael Bisping took it really personal, so he was pissed off. He just wanted to hurt him in any way he could in the first round, and he was piecing him up pretty good. He had him on the ground. Jorge's knees both were on the ground. Obviously, you're not allowed to knee him in the head. But Bisping realized that he didn't care. He wanted to hurt him. He just cracked him with one right in the skull. And they almost had to stop the fight because of it, but Jorge wanted to fight on. Still was getting worked for a while. He was getting beat down. Bisping was taking him down when he wanted to. Second round, he was really just taking it to him. Jorge started to just fade away. He couldn't handle it. He was turtling up in the corner, getting beat up, fell to the ground, continually beaten until the ref finally seen enough. He called a TKO, and that's how it went. I expected Bisping to win, honestly, just because of he's more well-rounded. But I was expecting a decision. That was a pretty nice TKO. I liked it. It's a lot better than most of the performances he puts on. Then it gets to the main event. Right at the beginning of BJ and John's fight, you saw something that you've only seen it maybe once or twice in all of BJ's career. He ran right over to him and tried to take him down. You never see that. John Fish wasn't even expecting it. He's seen him grab on. He's like, what the hell's going on? He did not see it coming. BJ actually did take him down a few times in the fight. I'd have to say first round goes to BJ. He had more control. Then the second round, that was the most even round I've seen in a long time. He ended up getting back control in the first round. He also got back mount in the second round. Had control of him. John Fitch ended up turning over and got into his guard round midway through the fight, midway through the round there, and putting down some pretty good ground and pound, good control, kept him down. It was really the most even round I've ever seen in the UFC, honestly. And then the third round, that was just all John Fitch. He put him down. He was just beating the crap out of him. Left his face bruised, welted. Had him beat down. They were both bleeding all over the place. John's nose, I think he got his nose broken in the first. And then, yeah, it ended up being a majority draw. I agree with that. It did seem like a draw because BJ first round split the second. John Fitch third round. They're talking about an immediate rematch. I'm not sure if that is going to happen, but hopefully it does so we can figure out who the real winner is. Overall, it was some pretty damn good fights, not going to lie. Alright, see you next time.